guys, so today is my friend Sarah and we're going to do another Pinterest find that we found on easy enchiladas.
Easy enchilada casserole.
Casserole.
Yes.
So something that you can use for weekly.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, it's honestly a recipe that I think will probably pacify the pickiest eater.
The pickiest eater.
Which in my house is my husband.
Every husband or child.
Or child.
But it's you can throw in the salsa that I did the recipe for. You can throw in just real basic like what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. I love to do homemade guacamole with it.
Ooh, that'd be good.
Even if you just get a couple of the bigger avocados and a packet of the guacamole seasoning. Perfect.
Ooh, that'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it, what's nice about this is you can make it, not a lot, or you can make it to where you can have a whole bunch of people over.
Exactly.
That's really nice too.
Well, and the recipe that came off of Pinterest, just so you guys know, I've kind of modified a bit since doing the first dish of it. I've kind of done it I think this is like the 5th time that I've made it now.
Wow. Okay.
And I've kind of gotten down to a science for what we like. So, what you guys like may be closer to what the actual recipe is, but I'm just going to show you the way I make it because that's the way I like it.
Okay, sounds good. So we're just going to get started. We've already ground the hamburger.
Yes.
And on our blogs, we'll have a picture of all the ingredients that you'll need for it. And then we'll give the actual recipe and then our modified kind of version. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go from there. Okay,
perfect.
So let's get started.
So we've already done the hamburger. That's honestly probably the most time-consuming part. The only other thing that you have to do, and I always tend to forget to do this until right before it needs to go in, which is set your oven at 350.
Yes, that's so important.
Yes, oven at 350 because it has to bake for about 45 minutes or so. The recipe I think says 40 to 50, so it kind of depends on your elevation, obviously. So here in my house, my oven cooks kind of hot, so I do it at 45 minutes.
Okay.
So here we have the brown hamburger, which we've already done. I like to use a large Pyrex bowl for this
Over here,
because everything just kind of goes in this. So
yeah, that's a great idea.
I kind of tend to take all the liquids and put all the liquids in first.
Okay.
So, and this is where I modify the recipe. Recipe calls for 1 10-ounce can of the cream of chicken and 1 10-ounce can of the cream of mushroom. We're not really mushroom fans, so...
No, but I don't know anybody. I mean, you either like mushrooms or you don't, but canned mushrooms? No.
Nasty.
Okay.
Nasty. Yeah. So, 2 cans of the cream of chicken, and then 10 ounces of the enchilada sauce.
Okay.
So I have that pre-measured out. I'm just going to pour that in here. And
it's
then,
so funny how everybody does it a little differently with... Yeah.
Exactly. Well, and this is kind of, like I said, the recipe tells you to do it differently. So I do the liquids first, then I add the hamburger.
I might get kind of close here so she can see kind of what is going on, and then I'll do the same with yours too.
So add the hamburger.
So it makes that kind of consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so I kind of start to mix this in together first, so you it's not real separated or anything like that. You've got the cream of chicken, the enchilada sauce, all kind of mixing together.
Okay. Oh yeah.
And then the hamburger. So
I've never done it like that. What a great idea.
It's so easy. I mean, honestly, it's such a good recipe.
Wow.
It's really easy, and I love this. I love having a little kitchen assistant.
So you can add onions into it if you want. It calls for green onions.
It calls for onions, green chilies, and olives.
Green chilies. So the green chilies, we thought with the salsa that I made, you could get that, but you can do the little tiny can of green chilies.
Yes. My substitution that I do for this, because my husband hates vegetables, is I do 3 or 4, 3 or 4 of the mild
Tostitos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
Salsa.
Tostitos salsa. So, yeah, that's so funny. Or you can use my salsa that I brought, so whatever's easier. Or you can do the canned, chilies. So how many, you just do?
I do like three.
Oh, three.
Three good size
tablespoons, okay.
Maybe even like 3 or 3
Sure.
and a half. It just, to me, it has, this is kind of where you get the chilies in without putting like the cans of chilies.
Oh yeah,
so if you have somebody that doesn't like veggies, it's kind of a good way to sneak the veggies in without putting a whole lot of veggies.
Yeah. So then you've got the ground hamburger, you have the enchilada sauce, you have the
cream of chicken,
and then the cream of chicken. 2 cans of cream of chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
So now comes the part where you add in, recipe calls for a pound of cheese, which is a ton, but as we all know, the more cheese or the more butter that any recipe uses, the better it tastes.
So you dump that in. Okay.
So you dump all the cheese in.
Okay. So it's like one big mixture that you're getting.
And I believe the recipe actually calls for you to use the Mexican style cheese.
Oh.
I actually prefer to use regular cheddar.
I think it actually said cheddar cheese, but Mexican cheese would be good. Just
Mexican cheese can be good. I love Monterey Jack, so you could throw Monterey Jack in there would be great. So it calls for a ton of cheese.
Okay, so what she's doing now is she's just mixing it all together. I've never seen it like that before.
Yeah, this is, like I said, it's simple. Just kind of get it all in here. It'll become a really thick consistency, and you kind of have to, it'll really kind of build your biceps.
Because it's pretty thick.
Stirring all of it in, it gets really thick once you add the tortillas especially.
Wow, look at that. And if you see what she did with the tortillas, she actually took a whole bunch of tortillas and cut them like triangles.
And again, recipe calls for 12. I use 8. I found when I used 12, it was just too much tortilla. So I thought that this actually worked a little bit better. So I'll take about half of these at first and just kind of put them in. I like to just kind of spread them out when I put them in here because you want them to really absorb as much of the liquid.
Oh, I've never seen anything like that before. Look at that. So she's just
kind of like I'm dealing cards.
Yeah, I know.
I would have been good in Vegas. Huh?
Yeah, look at that. So then
I'll
you just take them and mix them. Oh
and
my gosh, I've never seen anything like that.
For corn tortillas, and I'm using flour just because we really kind of like flour tortillas in this house a little bit more than the corn, but you can definitely use the corn.
I think that's definitely, a personal thing. You either like it or you don't.
Exactly.
Corn's not incredibly good for you.
No, it's really not.
Or you could
That's
use
why I kind of
gluten-free. You could use gluten-free.
Exactly. You can honestly, I mean, there's a million different ways you could make this recipe even healthier. You can use ground turkey instead of using meat, which I like to sneak it into.
That's a good idea.
Even tacos and stuff like that, because my husband hates eating anything that's healthy. But I sneak the turkey in there sometimes, and he just doesn't even.
They don't even know
the difference.
No, Mark wouldn't have a clue. Or
amazing to me.
Yeah, exactly. Just like sour cream, it's the same thing. You could totally get away with doing.
You could totally get away with fat-free. Or you could do Greek yogurt.
Yeah, you could
even plain Greek yogurt and. So.
Okay, deal in the cards.
Just deal in the cards, exactly. Shuffle. Call me MGM Grand if you need somebody to deal cards at your high rollers table.
I've just never seen anybody do it like that. Because I'm just more used to the traditional, you take the tortilla, you pack it, and then you roll it, and then you put it in the pan. What a great idea.
Yeah.
It's just, you're right, it does, look at her, she's having to work.
Yeah, you definitely use your biceps a little bit more.
Work those biceps.
All of this in there.
Yeah.
And
so then literally you just pour it all into the casserole.
Yep, it's going to go into, I'm using a 9x13 glass pan.
Yeah. Look at that. Okay, so then you just, and no spray.
No spray.
No spray.
And you don't have to cover it either when it goes into the oven, which
That's
is also
unusual
kind of
too.
nice.
Yeah.
Normally they always get covered.
You always have to do foil.
Exactly.
No foil.
And I kind of, anytime I do any dishes like this, I always put like a cookie sheet underneath just in case
It bubbles over.
it bubbles over.
Yeah.
But honestly,
It's never bubbled over.
it's never bubbled over. So
Wow, look at that. Okay, so then you just mix it real well,
yep, you just
and
mix
then
it
you
in
literally
real well.
just dump it.
I'm just kind of getting down to the bottom
Make sure
of
it's
the
all.
bowl here, making sure
Yeah.
that it's all mixed kind of equally. And like I said, you can see how thick
Thick it
this
is.
actually becomes.
Put the camera back.
Okay,
Okay, so
this
then.
is pretty good.
Yeah.
So this is
Look
kind
at
of
that
what it looks
consistency.
like. Yeah, I'll kind of come a little closer without dumping it here. You can kind of see
All the triangles.
all the triangles. Gradual consistency, like I said, it gets
Okay.
a lot thicker.
Really
so,
cool. And then you just dump it into.
So now you just dump it into
Hold that
your
together.
dish.
This is so easy, and oh my gosh, so cool to be different.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay.
So now we've got it in the pan. Just gonna kind of move it around so that it's evenly and it's not just all in one place, obviously.
Okay.
I need you with me to clean up all the time.
I know. So you don't put any cheese on top, huh?
No, because you use
So
so much
much
cheese. Like I said,
Ooh, I'm gonna
it's
bloat.
really good, exactly. But it is so worth it. So
Wow. So all she's doing
Here it
is
is
just
in the
patting
pan.
it all down, and then literally it just goes.
it's just gonna go right into
In
the
the
oven,
oven.
exactly like this.
And then look at this. That's it. It just looks like
That's
a big casserole.
So just right into the oven.
You put it right down. Oh, mine burned the heck out of it.
Mine is very
Yeah.
low.
So how
And
long?
then, like I said, with our elevation here in Oregon, I set it at 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then, I always kind of still tend to check things. Even then, usually about 40 minutes, I'll start checking it, and by then you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
By the
just
time
so
it
it
hits
doesn't
45
overlap.
minutes,
Yeah.
it's really done.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
and then it just comes out and it has to cool for probably about 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and then you get to add all the fun stuff: guacamole, sour cream. I like to do a little bit of lettuce on mine and kind of make it a little bit of
like
a
a
salad
taco,
almost.
yeah,
Mhm.
salad.
Yeah,
And then you throw in maybe like a margarita or. a
you're my
Corona.
favorite. Exactly.
And you're good
That's
to go.
perfect. Yeah.
So that's perfect for midweek dinner or Friday night dinner. You could get it ready. I mean, it could sit in the refrigerator, and you could do it.
I love to make it on a night when you've got a basketball game on TV you're gonna
Yes.
watch, or a football game,
Yep.
something like that.
Perfect.
With it being the NCAA tourney,
Yes, there you go. That's
it'd
perfect.
be awesome. Yeah.
Okay,
Perfect.
well, like we said, we're gonna put these the recipe on our blog, on our blogs, plural, and they'll have the Pinterest recipe, and then it will have the modified version, Sarah's modified version, and then some suggestions on the side. So check it out, you guys, and hopefully you'll love it as much as we do. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.